Did you ever lick a 9-volt battery?
Yes, once.
That's how social media makes me feel.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. It makes me feel like I'm licking a 9-volt battery. It's not healthy. And it's like, oh, this is not good for me.
No. Welcome back to Direct Edition, a podcast about nothing and everything. I'm your host, Dave, and this is my podcast. I have a great guest today. That is the ultra-talented Matt Fraction. Matt Fraction has left his mark on books and characters such as Hawkeye, Iron Fist, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Iron Man. He's created or co-created some great independent books, including one of my favorite books of all time, Sex Criminals with Chip Zdarsky. Shout out to Chip for setting this up. Casanova, November. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But I wanted to talk to him about two specific things. His Batman #1 with Jorge Jimenez is out in stores now. September 4th was the release date, and we recorded just before it, but you're seeing it after the fact. You cannot miss this book. It's going to be everywhere. Every comic store is going to have plenty of copies. And if not, they'll do a second printing just for you. He is also the co-creator and the co-showrunner of the Godzilla and Kong universe show, Monarch, A Legacy of Monsters. So I wanted to talk to him about just all of the things that entail those two universes, Batman and Monarch. But honestly, we had a great discussion about comics and comic stores and self-printing and publishing and zines and all that stuff. And we talked at length about that as well. This was a very fun conversation. We even dip into talking about anxiety and ADHD. And for those of you that are Patreon subscribers, there is a bonus portion of this interview that will be on Patreon this week as well. So look forward to that. I asked Matt some kind of questions tailored to him. And if you're not part of the Patreon, click the link below. $5 a month will get you at least one episode of Direct Edition every month that's exclusive, one episode of West Coast Davengers that's exclusive, private sale every 2 months, and voting on a third video, which will be a flip through of a comic or rare magazine or book. So without further ado, why don't we get to my interview with Matt Fraction. Good morning, good afternoon, hello friends. Today's guest has nothing short of a bibliography that would take me a half hour to go through, but I do want to run through some of the books that he's worked on and some of the other things. Iron Man, Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, Adventure Man, Hawkeye, Sex Criminals co-creator, Casanova, November, X-Men, Fantastic Four, working with two of the biggest characters right now in the world, and I'm talking size with Godzilla and also Batman. So we have Mr. Matt Fraction here today, and I'm going to find out why he stole Jorge Jimenez and Batman from Chip Zdarsky.
That was not the case. Absolutely not the case.
I was going to say the love of Chip Zdarsky's lives, the loves of his life.
Yeah. Well, hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good. You know, it's had a crazy summer and a crazy day, and today's hectic. The weekend is hectic. Everything is hectic all the time. And Batman comes out on Wednesday, so we're in the shoot, you know?
Yes. Next Wednesday, Batman comes out. Kids are back in school next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's, we're getting
all
into
happening.
Week.
It's all happening. Everything is
is
happening all the time, and it just keeps happening.
Well, I mean, there's the two options, right? We either keep moving or we stop. And
yes. Champagne problems and caviar nightmares.
I wanted to jump into, it's well documented. You've talked about your first comic being Batman 316, which is, very big inspiration in your life. But I wanted to ask you, growing up in Chicago, what was your first comic store experience?
It was a place. It was after I had left Chicago for Bloomington. It was a store called Dreamth. That's Dream with a TH at the end.
Like a lisp.
Dreamth. The Dreamth. Which I found out the last time I did Word Balloon that John Suntress shopped there while he was a student.
Wow.
I think Tim Bradstreet as well. And it takes a lot to genuinely shock me. That genuinely shocked me because I've spent the last 30 years half convinced that I hallucinated Dreamth. But like I was always, you know, it was always at Osco, right? It was 7-Eleven and Osco kind of pickups, and then a friend of mine found this store. He called me. He was like, I went to a store. It's a comic book store. It's like, oh, what? That's it. That's all they sell. And that was it. That was it for me.
Did you, I grew up on Long Island, so I had a comic store literally in every town, a stone's throw, 2 in my town. Did you become like for better lack of a term, a comic store rat?
1,000%. Yeah. Every week. That was like whenever that was, 1984. Like that was every week since. Yeah. And we moved around a lot. And a lot of times I was in places that didn't have direct market shops. So I'd always have to find like, there's a place in Burlington, Iowa called the Book Trader. And they weren't direct market, but they got stuff that, you know, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's the first thing I would do when I would get to a new town was go to the Yellow Pages, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And,
we're literally every week since 1984, you know?
Oh, it's amazing. Well, there's something about that, being able to do that and do it on a weekly basis. It's a sense of regularity, but it really builds that love.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I, you know, because I was buying off of racks at drugstores or grocery stores, I wasn't a particular Marvel or DC kid. I was really artistic and drew all the time, and I was just attracted to art. So my first experience at Dreamth was just picking up books I thought looked cool without any kind of awareness of what the culture attached to it was. To the derision, as I recall, of one of the clerks. You know,
I get that, and it's my experience too. I grew up. I'm 4 years younger than you, so you know I'm in the late '80s, early '90s. I'm seeing the Image guys, and they were art forward. And that's what gave me my appreciation of art. Like they weren't, you know, a lot of those books weren't the best stories or the best character building.
Let's be candid. None of them were.
No,
that wasn't why you were picking up Mark Silvestri or Jim Lee.
Exactly. You know? Exactly. Todd's art is why I have an appreciation for art all around, is because that's the first artist I was into. And then, you know, it's the beauty.
I did a day at San Diego, and part of it was being on a panel with Jim, and they move. You know, there's a whole infrastructure underneath the convention center, and behind it, there's secret walls and doors and ways that, you know, there's a reason why you don't see Harrison Ford and his handlers wandering through Hall H or whatever. And so we're taking these kind of secret access corridors, and we get into this like service elevator. And Todd McFarlane had drawn with Sharpie, like the Spawn drawing on the wall. And I could tell it bugged Jim, right? Yeah. We do the panel. We go back to the elevator, and someone has, in the time we were on the panel, put a plexiglass frame over it. And that, like, Jim, like, snapped and took out a Sharpie, and on the opposite wall did a drawing of Joker and signed it. And I was just like, well, first off, this is now the most expensive elevator
in the history of elevators
ever. But it was just like, it was a out of body experience. Like if I could go back and tell kid me, one day, not only are you going to see this, you're going to be there as it's happening. And like having just done a panel with Jim, and like, it's just mind melting.
And that was your first convention in a long time, right? Like pre-COVID.
Yeah. And I was there a day, so it was barely, I was strategic. You know, I did a day I did a panel at New York when Monarch came out, you know, and but even that was secret entrance up through into a room, out the secret door, into, you know, you have to take golf carts, it's the whole thing. But yeah, so I've this coming a week from now,
Yes.
Rose City Comic-Con here in beautiful Portland, Oregon happens, and that will be my first actual proper I'm here all day, every day for a convention since like 2019.
Right. And I think I should have this out before then, but if not, I apologize to anybody that was wondering where Matt was this past weekend. And you're also doing an event at Hollywood Theater, right?
Yeah. So it's a 99-year-old movie palace. It's on the
Love that place.
Historical Places Registry. It's gorgeous. It's the biggest 70 millimeter screen on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
It is a place by people who love movies, for people who love movies. I just bought tickets to showing The Insider and Social Network on 35 and 2 weeks from now. So I just got tickets for those. And I love it. It's a nonprofit. And had this crazy idea, like kind of understanding it's Batman #1. There will be some craziness. I could probably get away with something. Came up with an idea to raise some money for the joint. So we made, I paid for it out of my own pocket. Steve Lieber and Nate Fairbairn donated their time. And it's got this crazy old movie palace edifice. And now there's a Hollywood Theater exclusive cover of Batman on the marquee, like literally standing on the thing.
Yeah.
And so they're going to do a screening of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight in 35 millimeter on September 4th. And if you bought tickets, you get a copy of the book. Me and Steve are going to be there early and sign it. So I'll kind of do a little intro thing, and then we're going to watch a movie together. And then the remaining copies I will have on hand selling at the show. I'm only signing at the Hollywood Theater's booth. There'll be I think they put me in like the hall A, the autograph hall. I don't quite know where it is yet, but that's the only place I'm going to be, selling it by hand, and we're going to raise a lot of money for this theater that I love very dearly and want to do good things for. And it's cool. It's crazy. Now we have a little special. I think I don't know what the numbers are, but it's certainly one of the rarest of the Batman variants.
I'm going to try and have a friend pick up a copy.
There are 84.
Oh, wow.
They sent them to me this week. 84.
Well, it's a #1. It's a hot book.
I genuinely had absolutely. It's like I thought everyone at DC were well-meaning, but super type A, and had drank some kind of Kool-Aid, and there was such a veil of secrecy. Like when they announced me at the retailer thing, I had to sit in a chair. They were hiding me. It was like, guys, really don't. But it was sweet. It was sweet, right? And they were very kind and generous, and none of it is malicious or harmful. It's just I just thought like, wow, this is really over the top. And then I did San Diego. I'm like, yeah, nope. That was I certainly am guilty of underselling things and being self-deprecating, but in this case, I'm genuinely stunned by the scale of this.
Well, I mean, the thing about it also is one of the biggest testaments to what you're doing is also the fact that you're doing it with Jorge, and Jorge is not only a specimen of a human being and a talent, but there hasn't been
very handsome.
Yeah, very. But there hasn't been somebody that's done a long run like this on a single character for, especially in the big two, for years. Like if we take Kirkman out of the picture of Invincible and everything like that, and Otley, on the big two, like nobody does runs anymore like this, and he's been on it since James, right? Since James Tynion.
Yeah, probably Bendis and Bagley or me and Salva. We had the longest. I had 80 some issues of Iron Man. It was all him. So,
and that's a decade ago, more 15 years ago.
At this point, yeah.
Time is weird.
It really is. It got squishy there in the middle.
But yeah, they're doing the blind bag. They're doing everything. They're pulling out all the stops.
It's incredible.
Look,
we got a Frank Miller, right? We got a Frank Miller Batman cover.
I know. DC's on a high right now, and it's understandable. Like
they're the pirate ship now. Yeah,
they are. And with the absolute stuff,
it's all Marie. It's Marie Javins. It is the singular vision and talent and ability and generosity of spirit of Marie Javins. absolutely transformed the place. The vibe is so great.
Well, and I think also what the public is seeing is from the movie side of it, with James Gunn being the figurehead there, you also have a great person
Yeah.
who's showing us the way. And
first time I genuinely exhaled was going to see Superman and seeing like how it was received. And it was like, okay, people are ready for this, because that's kind of not as funny, but like that's definitely the vibe and tone that I'm aiming for. Like it's a superhero forward take on Batman. I told Marie and Rob, the Bat Group editor, when I pitched, like the first part of the pitch was like, people will either love this or hate this, and we'll know real fast. So worst case, I'm done in a year. You know, because it's a shift. It's definitely a tone shift. You know, have you read them, by the way? Did they get them to you?
I have not. No,
okay.
I have not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be reading it next week. You know, going into Stargazer and Tacoma. And also I wanted to say, on top of the Hollywood theater, you know, Portland, where you've resided for years now with your wife Kelly Sue and your kids and everything. My God, what a comic mecca! I mean, the comic stores there.
You throw a rock, it'll bounce off of one shop and hit two more, and each one is wildly different than the other. There are like 7 different comic book ecosystems that are served brilliantly by different stores across town. It's great.
Yeah. And shout outs to Excalibur, Cosmic Monkey, Floating World, Cosmic Dreams, all
Bridge City. It's great. It's great. The town is silly with great shops.
Yes, and it's silly with creators. I mean, you know, you're
it's a little bit like the State of the Union. Like, we can't all fly out on the same flight to conventions or the mid-list.
That's right. That's right. So they shuffle us around. You know, when we finally get Cascadia as our own territory, we'll have most of the great comic creators here.
I'm ready. Cascadia is number 2 export.
That's right.
It'll be weed and comic book writers
and coffee. That's the best thing.
We don't grow it here, though. We just roast it. So
that's true.
You gotta go to Brazil.
I can honestly tell you, if you ever want to do a Northwestern comic and you know, talk like about all the good stuff here, I'll host you again for that.
Great, love it. I'm in.
So with Batman, one of the biggest, I would almost say, from my point of view, if I was a comic shop owner or whatever, biggest selling point is you're doing singular issue stories, which is huge. Yeah.
You know, I mean, they accrue. There are longer, you know, but yeah, no, it was part of my, I just challenge for myself to keep it interesting. But I'm not so far away from the time of my life where I would root through couch cushions looking for change, you know? And I've been very fortunate. I've been very lucky and all that, but like, comics are $5.
I know.
It's a quarter a page. Like, I'm so concerned with giving people a full meal in exchange for their ticket, you know?
Yeah.
It also, like, it just lets me hop modes more. Like, I'm just impatient. There's so many, you know. They asked, do you have any, like, literally, Chip told me he was leaving. He said, you know, would you be interested in at least talking to Rob and Marie about it? And I said, yeah. And Rob and Marie said, do you have thoughts about Batman? And it turns out, yes, I do. It turns out I've had thoughts about Batman since I was 3. And now I've fooled people into paying me for them. So, like, keeping things in these kind of singular, self-contained beginning, middle, end issues rather than chapters of longer stories, like, it lets me, we can do this issue, this issue, you know. It's very ADHD, but it's also a challenge. They're hard as hell to write singular,
sure,
you know. But yeah, so it also just felt like a can I take kind of the formal approach that David Aja and I had on Hawkeye and Annie and everybody else, and kind of what would that look like now? What have I learned since then in that 10 years or whatever, that to how would it be different? And and it's a challenge, right? Like, I wrote a whole first issue, wrote issue 2, wrote issue 3, threw issue 1 out and rewrote it.
Oh, wow.
Like top to bottom rewrote it. Right. And, you know, I've been working on it at this point for 14 months. Like I started last summer.
That makes sense.
I turned in the first 3 issues at the end of June.
Wow.
So I had enough time. I've gone back and meddled with them. Like the further I get, the smarter I get, the more. Once Jorge, started to work, and I've had this kind of luxury of time to really dial in and hope, try to I just want it to be a good book. I want it to be the book I want to read, and I'm thrilled that everyone on the team is committed to that as well and patient with me.
Well, and I think people have followed your work, since they started seeing what you were able to do and what you did with Hawkeye, and you're able to make a character. And now, obviously, Hawkeye's not as big as Batman and doesn't have the history that Batman has yet.
Yet.
I mean,
we're gonna get there.
The fact that you can take something that's been around for a while and put a new spin on it, Jimmy Olsen, another one that's a great example of doing something with a character. I wanted to ask, because I just had Kirkman and Finch on, and they're doing their new book, Skinbreaker, and Kirkman talked about how once David's art started coming back, it started to shape the story more and change the story a bit. Did you find that with Jorge at all? Oh,
it's true with everybody.
Yeah.
I like collaborative. I don't want employees. I want collaborators.
Sure.
And I my favorite part of the process is de-writing. When it's one thing to see thumbs and kind of understand balloon placement, but I want to take as many words as possible out of a script, and I want to, all that stuff. And it's a constant. I've also been lucky that I've always known who I was writing, with a very few exceptions. I mean, less than 5 times have I been writing blind, and I've always loved who I've been writing for. And I'm a fan of comics. I like a lot of people. So just my approach has always been what's the Jorge book I want to see? What's the Terry Dodson book I want to see, or whatever? And just writing into that, and seeing how he sent a page yesterday or the day before, and it was exactly how I saw it in my head. So I feel like I'm there. I feel like I can speak the language now.
Yeah.
There's always a learning process, right? There's time of learning how to harmonize with one another. And I feel like we're there, and it's just a matter of what's the coolest Jorge issue I want to see.
Is he? Does he work digital or does he work traditional?
I don't know. I suspect it's a hybrid of each.
Yeah.
I know he finishes digital, but he might. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Collaborators that you've had are, something of legend. My introduction to your writing, and is now, one of my favorite books of all time, is Sex Criminals. I mean, there's something about that book, and I know you've, by the way, it's 11 years old, but happy 10th anniversary last year to it.
Thank you.
Just such a special book. And, man, I have so many, have had questions about it over the years, but I just want to say how much I love that book and how much it changed the way I looked at comics.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It was a pretty remarkable experience end to end.
Yeah. From reading it as it was coming out, but also hearing stories told about it, and just the tips, which is right back there. I've given that book to 6 or 7 people. Every time I see it, I buy it, and I'm like, somebody's going to appreciate it, and I send it to them.
Somebody's having a dirty Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. I did want to go back and ask you another kind of younger you question about, did you get involved? I know you were involved in the message boards, and that's how you met. Isn't that how you met your wife, and also how you met Chip? Did you ever do any fanzine or zine self-published stuff when you were younger?
Oh yeah. I made comics compulsively. Do you remember dot matrix printer paper?
Yeah, of course.
The accordion perfs, and then but it had the holes in the side.
Yep. Yep.
I would take that. My mom would bring it home from her job, and I would tear off one side of the strips and separate the sheets, make comics, and then bind them together with yarn through the perforations.
That's amazing.
I made comics in art school. I made comics out of art school, and I've written hundreds of comics no one will ever see or read.
Sure.
That I wasn't trying to get published. I was just trying to learn how to do it. It's like having a sketchbook or, doing test paintings or whatever. It was, I've always, I'd be making them if no one read them and no one gave a shit. It's a language that I speak, I think, better than English. So I'm not saying it's good, but it's just it's a thing I'm incredibly comfortable with. I've my whole life have made comics, and then writing about comics and thinking about comics, all of it. Like it's just my shit.
Yeah. My fascination and exploration of fanzine culture is what kind of leads this podcast, because between comics and music, fanzines are what grew both. Okay. Fandom is what grew both of those things.
Oh yeah. And there's a remarkable archive of it at the University of Oregon. If you're ever in Eugene.
Oh, that's right.
Specifically Star Trek fandom, which was not only perpetuated and made by fans, but by women, and by a lot of women who were writing science fiction. It's incredible to see.
I did know about that, and it's something I do want to get to. I'd like to get to the Billy Ireland out in Columbus as well to see
that's astonishing.
Yeah, I've heard.
They have all of Calvin and Hobbes.
I know.
They have Winsor McCay originals. Like
those are big, aren't they? Windsor's
huge.
Like
they're huge.
Yeah.
It's astonishing. The Billy is incredible.
Yeah, I know they're trying to build something in Portland, right? They're trying to build a comic and cartoon museum. Sure. Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows exactly?
It ain't going to be the Billy.
No. But the fandom thing too, especially when you think about San Diego Comic-Con, the whole thing starts from fandom, and obviously it's a different thing of what it was back in the 60s and 70s and even 80s, but still the foundations of it come from people that were fans of.
Yeah.
So it's just something
and women, and like to say it again, like the more women than men attend conventions. It's yeah.
Well, and that's another entire thing that just needs to be pushed forward is women's history in comics.
It's all been included, it's all been,
Yeah, somebody like Marie Severin, I think about her as being one of the most important figures in comics and does not get the shine that she deserves publicly.
Yeah, she in more ways than you'll know, she's
So shifting focus, because you are part of something else that came out last year and was really enjoyable, was Monarch. You're co-creator, showrunner of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which is the in-between of the King Kong Godzilla movies. Is that a best way to call it?
Sure. Yeah.
Fascinated by how you got involved in that.
Sure. I was working with Legendary on we had a development deal and turning my stuff into shows, and knew that was a thing they had been wrestling with for a while, and I saw it so clearly in my head that I asked if I could pitch on it, and because they were like, do you want to, any of the stuff that we're developing, is there anything you're interested in? And I was like, Monarch, and they thought it, because they were like, it's a poison chalice. Why would you want to drink out of it? We've been trying to do that for 10 years or whatever. I'm like, I see it. I know it. You got to trust me. And that started a 5-year process, almost door to door, from when that first document got written to being partnered with Chris Black, who developed the show and ran it with me, and to production was like almost 5 years to the day. But yeah, it just came from loving the world and seeing what the show could be in my head, and just convincing enough people and meeting enough people who agreed, and getting lucky, right? It's hard work and luck and timing, I guess.
Yeah, you hear TV and movies. You're lucky if you get something made
Oh yeah,
and how long it takes.
yeah.
So it kind of fascinates me because you hear the word showrunners more thrown around and use that term maybe in the last 10 years, 15 years. Is it something that's like everything kind of goes through you? Like, for instance, casting. I mean, brilliant job, Anna Sawai, and then Kurt and Wyatt Russell. Come on, that's almost not fair.
Yeah, no, it's showrunner has all of that stuff. I mean, there's still studios and networks, but you're involved with every decision and every level, from boring budget shit to stars and present. I was there for 100 of our 106 shooting days.
That's crazy.
And we went to Tokyo and all through British Columbia. I wasn't there for the Hawaii stuff.
Okay.
Because I was at the tail end, and it was like it had started before the Vancouver unit had wrapped. It was one of those things that so we wrap on a Friday. I could get on a plane Saturday, get my ass kicked Sunday and Monday, and then fly back. It had only been 2 days in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I missed Hawaii, unfortunately, but yeah, no, it's we did a bit where we wanted to shoot at an airport in Tokyo, and we just needed Anna walking out of a concourse and hailing a cab, and they told us no, unless we shot in the concourse itself, which was a brand new international arrivals terminal. Its construction had been completed in 2020. So they had this $1 billion facility that had not yet opened, and they wanted it. So we quickly scrambled to take advantage of this remarkable, that kind of, there's it's creative, it's executive and producerial, and it's a great challenge for someone with the, mental obstacles of mine. It's a great job for somebody with ADHD. I'll do one thing until I get stuck, would walk 10 feet and somebody else would be like, red or blue, blue, and go over here. And what is this? And there's a zillion things all the time. And then you're looking at cuts and edits and giving notes on effects and music. It's a top down kind of granular sort of thing.
And, the airport question, was it Haneda or Narita? Or was it a different airport?
Haneda, I think.
Okay, yeah, I was through there last year. So everything about that country is amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't Narita, because that was the one I'd flown into before. So it would have been Haneda. Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, you get to play in a sandbox of Godzilla and kaiju's. Is that something that always spoke to you as growing up and through adulthood?
Oh yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I old horror and science fiction movies were my bread and butter. I have a Godzilla tattoo.
There you go.
It wasn't. I didn't have to do a lot of homework for the gig.
Sure. I'd show you my Godzilla tattoo, but you don't want to see my thigh.
It's not that kind of podcast.
No, not yet.
Yeah, no. So it was born out of a love of the thing and seeing a way that the show could live and exist in a way that stood next to the films, but existed as television, which I think are two different things in very specific ways that were important.
Yeah, and the characters. I mean, you got a great cast, like I said, and Anna Sawai did some amazing things with Shogun. Obviously,
she's astonishing. She's going to be the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah, and
deserves it.
100%. And I enjoyed the interweaving of the characters, and I also, it was interesting to me because I moved to Seattle originally, and there was some stuff that was supposed to be in Seattle. I'm like, no, that's Vancouver. But I love how.
But at least Vancouver is in the Pacific Northwest.
Exactly.
And we're watching X-Files with my daughter, and it's all Vancouver. It's Kentucky, Vancouver. It's Arizona, Vancouver. It's
They were the first show, right? They were the first show to really take production to Vancouver, I think.
Maybe so, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny watching it. I can we shot there. I blew that building up. I did this. It's very fun to it's like a, yeah. We had some crew. We had some of their crew on our.
Sure.
It's cool.
That makes sense.
Oh, yeah, for everything.
I want to go back to comics because there is something that you've done in the past that I appreciate. You've done some playlists for certain books that you've made,
Sure.
and your relationship to music. Obviously, you're a big music nerd. I'm a big music nerd. Are you planning to do anything like just on the side, maybe some Batman suggestions for music wise for reading, or is there anything that you listen to while you write?
No,
Might.
it's interesting as I don't know if it's age or, I mean, I suspect I'm a little bit I feel like a locust. Like I have to kind of, every little while I have to kind of tear everything apart and start over and figure out how I do this in a brand new way all over again. And it's a very work intensive. I wish I could just do something easy. I wish I could just do it the easy way, but it's like the Simpsons joke, there's the right way, the wrong way, and the max power way, which is wrong but faster. As the Manfraction way is slower and harder. No, I'm in a place now where I kind of can't. I don't. I'm. Yeah, no. I need to just kind of have whatever document open, have my notebook and a Word file open, and that's it. Like I can't have. I can't even have like ball games going anymore. Like I can't have ambient anything. I just need to be able to focus as much as possible. So yeah, I've not. My son was actually putting a playlist together last night and asked me for a couple of recommendations, and I ended up like going through all. I used to do like monthly playlists of whatever songs went through my head. Right, I would put down, if I caught myself singing something, it would go on these lists, and I've fallen out of the habit of doing it. But it's just like, oh yeah, no, it is weirdly quiet here these days.
I get that.
Yeah, I just can't. I don't know. It's, and I've never been one of those guys that had like, I don't particularly like movie scores. I don't listen to movie scores particularly often or anything like that. But yeah, no, I tend to work in as much quiet as I can get.
It's interesting because at least for me, reading wise, I can take one of any of Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's scores,
sure, and
that's perfect, at least comic reading material. But yeah, working, editing for me, I can't listen to anything. I have to be doing.
Yeah, and there was a time when I needed 30 different things happening, and describe it to my wife as like I need to jingle my car keys at the raccoons. And so there would be like a baseball game and like the news with the sound muted and music playing, you know what I mean? And a chat window, and just sort of the raccoons needed this so I could do this. And now it's all of the raccoons are in the same direction. And like, we just got to focus on this thing and crank.
Do you think that's like growing with ADHD? Some of that is what that is like you're
1,000%. Yeah. And I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's age. I don't know if it's the medication. I don't know if like I said, if creatively everything changes for me every, I don't know, maybe it'll turn around, but no, I love music deeply, but it isn't compatible with my work style at the moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, just looking at this thing last night, I was like, oh, right. I missed this. But it's also the thing, like, I can't listen to music at night. I get too excited and I can't sleep. Like I would start to play these songs. I was going to say to my son, like, no, stop. I'm going to get to, like it's
right.
Yeah.
I completely I have the opposite. Like I have really bad anxiety. So like I'm hyper focused on things and I can pay attention to almost everything at once to a fault where like I'm paying attention to way too much at once.
Yeah. And I have a processing thing where like, I'm not hard of hearing, but in certain environments at certain decibels, all of the noise flattens and I can hear someone 3 feet away from me just as well as I can hear someone 10 feet away from me. Conventions are really hard for me.
Oh, wow.
Like there's I have to focus like I'm taking the SATs at conventions, and I tend to like favor my ear at people because it's not because I can't hear, it's because I need to focus on everything you're saying, on top of all of my social anxiety shit and anxiousness and all that stuff. Like I got to keep that tamped down, but also like, you know, and there are times restaurants are horrible, and it sucks. It sucks. And I don't know what I used to think it was. I'm glad I know what it is now. I'm glad I recognize that it's not.
Well, you recognize it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a really, yeah, I spent most of July and August actually doing carpentry, and that was nice because I could have music on for that. So I spent listened to a lot of music this summer, but because I was using a saw and a drill and a chisel, and not
a pen and paper.
Writing. Yeah.
I think, especially talking about cons, like I took, you know, obviously COVID really grounded us all from going to stuff. But even when I came back and I went to my first Emerald City, I was like, I don't like it as much as I used to.
Yeah.
You know,
I you know, at first it was safety, and then it was, you know, when COVID started, I had wrapped up a bunch of projects and kind of tagged out of doing more and was kind of house dad. My wife had things more actively going. And so then there's kind of like a primacy of care kind of thing. And then I realized I am so crippled by anxiety. They are exhausting.
Yeah.
And performative. It is like a self-induced panic attack that I sustain for days, and it's really hard. As there's the part of me, I didn't actually have the kind of spikiness that I feel when I was at San Diego. Granted, it was only a day, so again, maybe things have changed. Maybe it's age and medication and therapy. But no, they have been. I realized I was saying no to shows because they made me feel bad.
Yeah, I get that.
And the better they went, the worse I felt. Right, because I was gonna fuck it up. And look at all these people who are so nice and who just want to come and say hello, and these people who afford you your lifestyle, and you disappointing every single one of them. And like, it just made me feel unwell. You know, like I got off of social media in like 2014. Did you ever lick a 9-volt battery?
Yes, once.
That's how social media makes me feel.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. It makes me feel like I'm licking a 9-volt battery. It's not healthy. And it's like, oh, this is not good for me.
No.
And I can make a lot of moral and ethical reasons to bail too, but like personally, selfishly, this feels unhealthy. It feels like I'm drinking poison. Like I'm not supposed to like this. I'm just supposed to be looking at pictures of food and dogs. Like why? And it makes me think, oh, I'm not meant. My mind knows innately. I'm not supposed to have a view of 30,000 different windows into 30,000 different lives at the same time. So
it's the same. And you get this because we're at that age, we watched it grow, but it's the thing with the 24-hour news cycle. We're not supposed to know what's going on in the world 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not healthy.
And rarely do we need to.
No, because
I don't know. So I'm doing shows for the next month or two in a way that I've not done since probably the height of Sex Criminals. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if I feel different on the other side of it. I'm wary in advance. I'll tell you that much.
I'll say this.
Just because I'm going to fuck it up. I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. I'm going to piss somebody off, and I'm not going to mean to, and I'm not going to know it. And then, you know, I'm going to be someone's terrible experience at a convention that ruins comics for them. They'll hate me and they'll think comics are dumb. And it's all because I made it dumb, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's never ending. And I can't hear what they're saying anyway. All I can hear is the voice in my head screaming, "You're an asshole. You're fucking it all." Like, it's awful.
I mean,
I just want to write stuff. Just let me write stuff.
For anybody listening, when you see Matt at a convention, just say, "Hi, I appreciate you."
Don't tell anybody anything. Let them, no.
But
know that the entire time we're talking, my toes are in fists to the point my
I
feet
get
cramp.
it.
You know.
Well, you make a lot of people very happy to read your work, so
It makes me happy that they read it, and and it really, it really, I don't charge for signatures. That's changed. That's the other thing. Is
that is
conventions are totally
changed.
different. Just in but like, I don't charge for signatures. It literally feels like the least I can do to sign my name a few times for people who afford me this lifestyle. Like I don't know. I do appreciate it as an exercise in gratitude. It makes me feel very, very lucky and very grateful. And there are good parts to it, but my brain doesn't let me enjoy them. Brains are bullshit. In conclusion,
they are. They're fucked up machines that you can't do anything to.
They're bags of fat and wires. It's a bad way to run a railroad. Who would build a computer out of fat and wires? It's dumb.
If I didn't have to deal with imposter syndrome a lot, my life would be a lot better. But going into this, I'm just like, I'm not a journalist. I'm not John Saunders. I'm just a dude that with a podcast, but loves to talk and conversation.
Dude, I'm not even good enough for imposter syndrome. I think that's a reductress joke, but it's a good one. So I
it's really good. So damn it, you just killed me with that one. As this comes out, Batman 1 will have already come out, but I don't think I need to tell people to go buy it. They will, and let's just hope that issue 2 is where they continue.
I hope.
And Legacy
it really feels like it's certainly scratching a Batman itch that has been scratched for a while, and people are responding to it, which is really gratifying. So hopefully everyone digs it and get to do it. I will do this until it stops being fun. I've been doing it for 14 months now, and it is yet to feel like work. So
that's awesome. I mean, that usually when the person creating is having fun doing it, the people reading it, enjoying it, watching it, whatever it is, are going to enjoy that.
Yeah, I think you can certainly tell when someone types with one hand because they're pinching their nose closed with the other one. So
yes, it's the same with music. You can tell when somebody's just fulfilling a contract or whatever. I want to give a big thank you to Chip for connecting us, and a big thank you to you for taking time out of your day to come on my podcast.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for accommodating me. I'm sorry I got to bounce a little early, but this was great. This was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we can do it again in the future. Best of luck on Batman 1 next week, Rose City,
Thanks,
and the Hollywood Theater, which is awesome that you're doing that.
September 4th. Oh, and then if you're in town on the 11th, as part of the Movie Madness University, I'm doing a class, teaching a one-night seminar about cinematic influences on Batman.
Oh, shit.
What'll be cool to see. So check that out. You can find out more on moviemadness.com. Or the Hollywood website. You can find it. I don't know if tickets are still available. But,
I'll post links to it in the description for people. So, Matt, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Have
Dave.
a great day.
You too.
Thanks for watching that interview with Matt Fraction. It was a delight to talk to him. I had never spoken to him before. Believe it or not, he's one of the very few creators that I've never met. But I asked Chip to connect us, and they're great friends, so I knew that I would get along very well with Matt, and we could have talked a lot longer. He had a meeting to go to after, so we'll do it again. But I really appreciate Matt's honesty, and I really am excited to read this Batman run. Batman is the character that I read the most of and have enjoyed the most comics of out of any of the big two superheroes since I was a kid. I'm a diehard Batman fan, so I'm excited for it, and I definitely no, I'm not going to be disappointed by it. And like I said, if you are part of the Patreon, you're going to get some extra bonus stuff with Matt. So $5 a month, the link's down below. You got nothing to lose but $5 a month. I promise I'll make it worth your while. Look, do I have to do your laundry for you too? And if you haven't rated or reviewed this podcast, you can do so on Apple and Spotify, Amazon. Just give it a star rating. You can leave comments or word reviews on both Spotify and Apple. And if you're watching on YouTube, as most people are, just hit the like button and drop a comment down below. Hit the bell so you're notified when I drop a new episode. Because I could use the help. That's it. That's all. I can use the help. All right. I'm not asking for anything. Just really need. Okay. All right. Whatever day you're listening to this to, I hope the rest of your week, day, hour, minutes are great. I'm Dave. This is Direct Edition. Podcast about nothing. Hello friends, it's your pal Dave, and I want to introduce to you my brand new Patreon, West Coast Davengers and Direct Edition, all under one umbrella. You can now support me by joining the Patreon for $5 a month, and what you're going to get is me wearing this shirt and nothing else. I'm just kidding. You're going to get at least one bonus episode of West Coast Davengers and one bonus episode of Direct Edition per month. As well, I'm going to let you vote on the content of another West Coast Davengers video where I flip through a rare book or a rare magazine or something that you've never seen before, and you get to participate in what book it is. As well, every 2 months, I'm going to do a private sale right here, Patreon exclusive, and you're going to have first access to buying it well before it goes live on West Coast Wednesday of my comic book claim sale. So that's a little exclusivity for you. So plop down $5 a month. It's not that much to ask, is it? I'm waiting. No, it's not. For $5 a month, you can help support and grow this community while we do some great things together. West Coast Avengers and Direct Edition. Fucking hell, let me do that one more part over again. Yeah, that's right.